Howdy kids, it's me Bob Harris, Senior Editor of Football Diehards. It's week 3 and time for the weekly injury review, preview, update, overview. Thing we like to do every Saturday to get you up to speed on the injuries you need to know about before you set your lineup Sunday. So I do this Saturday early afternoon. If you're watching this after or in the Sunday morning hours leading up to kickoff, listen to the players I'm talking about and get them on your radar. Check them out before you insert them into your lineup. So one of the best ways to do that is go to the staff rankings where we'll reflect the latest injury news, and we'll certainly have links to the latest articles about issues that may impact these players I'm talking about and all the players available out there. Also, check the late breaking update section and Casey Joyner's injury report / sit start. It's a great place to look. Got these injuries in them, and we'll also cover some of the defensive and offensive line injuries that might have an impact. So, as always, I'll go through these in chronological order to give you an idea what kind of fallback plans you need to have in place if you're going to roll with any of these questionable players. So we'll start out for the Arizona Cardinals at Jacksonville. DeAndre Hopkins listed as questionable with a rib injury. He's missed 2 games his entire career. The last one was in 2019 with the Texans. He has not practiced all week. It's a concern, right? So this is one you're going to have to watch. Would love to play him in a great matchup. The Cardinals offense looks like it's primed for big things. If he doesn't play, maybe Rondale Moore climbs up the radar a little bit. A.J. Green, Christian Kirk, etc. So there we have that. That's one we'll be watching closely. Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown. The Ravens are playing at Detroit. Great matchup. Both of them are listed as questionable. Illness for Jackson, non-COVID related. He missed a day of practice, missed Thursday, was back working fully Friday. The Ravens are play their injury designations very close to the rules, so if players miss time, they tend to list them as questionable. So Marquise Brown has been playing through his issues. You know, if you've been invested in Marquise Brown in the past, you know he often misses practice, is often listed as questionable, and plays as usual. That would be my expectation here, but it's something you're going to have to watch in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. Remember, all these we'll have on the site in that 90-minute window leading up to kickoff for you, but watch them and look at your options. On the other side of the ball, DeAndre Swift and Khalif Raymond both listed as questionable. Swift has been playing through his groin issue without any apparent difficulties, right? Had pretty good first 2 weeks. This injury goes back to the summer, so my guess is he plays as usual, but it's one you'll have to watch. Tyrell Williams has been placed on IR, so the receiving core is already pretty thin. Quintez Cephas seems to have taken the leading role. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie. Trinity Benson, they traded from the Broncos late this summer. Also in the mix, Khalif Raymond, so we'll see if he's active as well. The Indianapolis Colts are at Tennessee. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Is it Carson Wentz? He returned to practice Friday. He has 2 sprained ankles. A high sprain on the right side, a low sprain on the left side. You got to question his mobility, question his ability to set and throw the ball, but is he still a better option than Jacob Eason? Apparently so, because Brett Hundley was added from the practice squad to the active roster. Hundley got more first-team reps in practice this week than Eason. He has more experience. You know, it's not been recent, but it's more experience. So we don't know what direction this is going to take. We'll check that in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. If Carson Wentz is active, expect him to start and play as usual to the best he can. On the other side of the ball, and by the way, if you're investing in the receiving core there, obviously you're going to want Wentz to play. That's the more beneficial outcome. So watch that for your Michael Pittman shares, Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell, all those guys off the injury report, by the way, Pascal and Paris Campbell. On the other side of the ball, Anthony Firkser has been ruled out with a knee injury. Missed last week as well. Jeff Swaim and Michael Pruitt move up in the rotation. Don't get too excited there, kids. But great matchup for the Titans, right? Both for Derrick Henry and the receiving core there. A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. You might have heard of them. The New York Giants host the Atlanta Falcons. Great matchup for the Giants. The Falcons defense has struggled. Kenny Golladay listed as questionable with a hip injury. Evan Ingram with the same calf injury that cost him the last 2 games. Seems like he's trending towards playing. I don't see a lot of concern about Golladay not playing, but he hasn't been that effective, right? He's been not targeted as much. Sterling Shepard's kind of taking the lead role there. The good news, Saquon Barkley is off the injury report. It's been 10 days since the last game, or will have been 10 games since the last game, so he'll be rested and ready, and we saw some signs of life from him. That 41-yard run against the football team in the last game was pretty impressive. Other side of the ball, Russell Gage is ruled out. Zacchaeus Olamide Zacchaeus, I should say his name right, moves up in the rotation. Chris Blake, among others. Tajay Sharp, don't know if you want to roll with any of those guys. It's a pretty tough cornerback matchup on both corners. Bradbury and Adoree Jackson. So could be a rough day again for the Falcons. Cordero Patterson on the rise. Mike Davis. Calvin Ridley, obviously a good play. And Kyle Pitts maybe has a beneficial matchup. For the Cincinnati Bengals at Pittsburgh, T. Higgins listed as doubtful. He got on the practice field Friday. But he's got a shoulder issue. They have a short turnaround. They listed him as doubtful. That's one we'll be watching, but I don't expect him to play. Deontay Johnson on the other side of the ball has been ruled out. James Washington moves up in the rotation alongside Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. Remember, Ben Roethlisberger has a left pec issue. He's off the, didn't get an injury designation, but he's not healthy. And this offense has been struggling. Maybe they can get right against the Bengals defense, but they got a ways to go, and that includes Najee Harris, who has struggled a little bit out of the chute. For the Cleveland Browns, Odell Beckham's off the injury report. Good news there. They're hosting the Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton is out. Justin Fields gets his first start as the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. We'll see what he does. Darnell Mooney and Marquise Goodwin both listed as questionable in this one. Seems like both are likely to play. Goodwin practiced fully the last 2 days. Mooney's been dealing with this. This is a groin issue, so had dealt with the back the previous 2 weeks, so we'll be watching that one. Late afternoon window gets dicey here, people. Your options are fewer, and some of the names are bigger, right? At least this one is. Dalvin Cook, listed as questionable, did not practice all week. Mike Zimmer seems to think if he plays, they're going to use him full go. I think it's just going to be a question of how he feels in pregame warm-ups. Seems like it's not a severe sprain. Zimmer doesn't often play guys without practice, but he's willing to play Cook without practice. If not, Alexander Madison's a plug and play, and what should be a pretty favorable matchup for the rushing attack here, right? And some of the downfield weapons as well. On the other side of the ball, Rashad Penny and Dwayne Eskridge ruled out again for a second straight week, calf and concussion respectively. Alex Collins moves up behind Chris Carson. Freddie Swain caught a big touchdown last week, moves up as the number 3 wide receiver. For the Los Angeles Rams, playing Tampa Bay, this is a tough one, folks, in Los Angeles. Darrell Henderson is questionable with a rib injury. It's a pain tolerance issue. I know some of the local observers there think he is not going to play. We'll see, right? It's going to be the late afternoon kickoff. Sony Michel and Jake Funk, the rookie, standing by if needed. This is a tough one, man. I think, look, we've seen teams pivot away from the run going against the Buccaneers. The Cowboys did it with Ezekiel Elliott, so don't be surprised if that's the approach here no matter what. Matthew Stafford in that receiving core, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, maybe even Deshaun Jackson, Tyler Higbee, all maybe possibly on the rise there. Antonio Brown is on the reserve COVID list. The local reporting is he won't be cleared in time to play. He's not cleared as I speak, so don't expect him to be on the field. For the Las Vegas Raiders playing the Miami Dolphins in Las Vegas, Josh Jacobs, doubtful with the same ankle injury that sidelined him last week. Derek Carr off the injury report. That's good news. But in Jacobs' case, Peyton Barber and Kenyon Drake split the workload last week. Expect more of the same this week. For the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa ruled out of this game. Jacoby Brissett will get the start. And it sounds like maybe not a long-term thing for Tua, but we'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, Raiders defense is playing pretty tough pass rush. Watch this one. New York Jets at Denver. Jamison Crowder is listed as doubtful with a groin issue that sidelined him last week. He returned from COVID, then the groin injury, didn't play. He won't play again this week. So it's a tough matchup again for the New York Jets, and Zach Wilson picked off 4 times last week. So Tevin Coleman's ruled out of this game. Michael Carter and Ty Johnson kind of took the leading roles last week and fared pretty well. So I guess they'll continue that going forward. Sunday Night Football. Elijah Mitchell listed as doubtful. Seems unlikely to play. Jermichael Hasty ruled out with the ankle injury. Sounds like he might be heading to IR. So that leaves Trey Sermon, who is cleared out of the concussion protocol. Looks like he's going to be the lead back in this game. They have some other candidates. Trent Cannon's been on the roster a little bit. Jaquez Patrick is there. Bengals signed off the Bengals practice squad. And they have some options on their own practice squad. They signed Chris Thompson this week, and Kerryon Johnson's there. So we'll see if anyone gets promoted Saturday. But looks like Trey Sermon's the guy. Monday night, Miles Sanders, a little dinged up in practice this week, has a chest issue. Check that injury report when it comes out. I don't see anyone very concerned. Zach Ertz is off the COVID list for this game. He'll be available. Amari Cooper on the other side of the ball has a rib injury. He says it's cracked, says he's going to play, practice fully Friday. Seems like he will be good to go. So there you have it. Again, hit the website, check the late-breaking updates. Look at the staff rankings. It links to everything in the late-breaking updates for specific players. So just go to that page, hit your Control-F, and type in the player's name. You'll find him in the list. See where he ranks. See if the injury issues are really impacting his ranking. Click on the link to the article. Also, check out Casey Joyner's injury report /sit start for a more in-depth look at these players and also some of the associated components, right? The defensive side of the ball. the offensive line issues, a lot going on there. We'll have the pregame video with Jamie Calandro and Jason Brady early Sunday morning. Check that out as well. They'll be doing final DFS lineups. They'll mention any injury issues there as well. So hit the site. Lots of great information there. We'll keep it live up through Sunday's first kickoff. So we'll have everything you need. And if you're listening to Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, Saturday night on Fantasy Channel from 5 to 7. Then we jump over to Channel 88, the NFL radio channel, from 8 to 11. We'll be covering all these injuries in depth, and if any developments happen there, we'll have them there. And I'll be on the pregame show with Jeff Mans from 11 to 1. Give you the final inactives, and you'll get them on the website as well. We got you covered, people. Let's get some wins. Good luck this week.